Hi, folks. This is Sarah Marshall, your operations architect, and this is episode 7 of the Value Delivery Spine series. Welcome back. Last time we were talking about converting those commitments into solutions. Today we're going to take on the big piece of turning it into executable work, building out our large scale programs. And let's start with what a program is. Program management is that piece of work that delivers that collection of projects that we are driving towards a particular commitment. So it's usually a bundle of projects that working together gives us a specific outcome. An example of a program might be a new product line that launches with a marketing campaign and setting up the distribution channels to do it. Those are 3 different projects. That's building the product and getting it out, launching it, building the marketing campaign, and then building out whatever we need in the way of channels to support it. Those are 3 projects to deliver a program. So you can see inside of our portfolio, we have 2 programs here, Program A and Program B. As we set up our projects, and we just talked about a project being more specific and focused. It has one outcome that it's delivering on, and it's set up to execute on delivering that particular piece. An example would be any one of those 3 that I just described above. Would be launching a product, would be a project. Launching a marketing campaign would be a project. So we end up with a portfolio which has a bundle of programs in it, which in turn has a bundle of projects associated with that program to deliver on a specific strategic commitment. So what's in a successful program? There's a whole lot of elements that we have to plan for and design into our solutioning. Those elements include that alignment we previously discussed with our strategic commitment. We've been using OKRs. So this would be a program that aligns to a key result and is focused on delivering the outcome for that key result. We also want to make sure we have robust governance in place in terms of what the roles are, how we escalate for decision making, who the decision making person is, and how we can get that done, how we can expedite on any kinds of urgent decision making that we need to. That program is integrated with all the rest of the solutions that we are delivering for this cycle. So they're in the portfolio. We are managing them as a portfolio to ensure that we are delivering a solution that doesn't have gaps or overlaps or potential dependencies between the programs. We need to flush all that out early. Stakeholder management is a big topic. We are going to be taking most of our next episode talking about stakeholder management. But stakeholder management is bringing the folks along that are going to be impacted by the program so that they are ready for it when we deliver it. Once we've defined our program, we need to allocate resources to it to make sure that we have the right resources and enough of the resources to deliver. We'll start out in great shape with our fully resourced with all of our programs, and then things are going to happen and we may have to adjust. So we have to monitor performance, monitor deliveries against commitments, and then adjust as necessary through the course of the cycle. Risk management is identifying anything that is a risk to the program or the assumptions about the program that we have to manage to make sure that those assumptions are real, or if they're not, what we do to mitigate them. But the key thing here is to identify and put mitigations into place for the risks that we see early on in the process. And then finally, we'll need to monitor performance, both of the delivery of the program and ensuring that the program delivers a solution that performs at the operational level that we are expecting it to. If we have these elements in place, we have been set up to have a successful program. A successful program comes after building it out and making sure that it's in place. So considering all these success elements, the next thing we need to consider is the phases of the program. There are 4 phases. The first one is discovery, and we've already been talking about the things we do in discovery, which is identifying the solution, ensuring that we have alignment around that solution and we've fleshed it out sufficiently that we have agreement and that we can build a program to execute it. Once we have that discovery process complete, then we move into planning. And planning is a heavy lift because you're planning for all elements to make sure that you have a successful outcome to the program. In any program, you're going to plan for the work you need to get done in the program to deliver, launch, and be successful post-launch. But you also, if this program is in isolation and does not have a PMO to develop structure around it, need to develop all the managing structure around the program as well. So those are the scheduling, the build methodology, etc. Those are all the things that are inside the planning piece. But we know that once the plan is done and the rubber hits the road and we are actually designing and building, that no plan survives first contact with the enemy. In this case, the enemy is reality. The real things that we find out as we're designing and develop, we thought it would work one way, the technology doesn't provide that, or there is some factor that we have to work around. All those things are going to come up as we develop and validate the offering that we're going to launch. And once we have completed the development and we've validated and it's a good and working offering, we launch it. And that period of launch to land is that period between when we push our offering out the door and a new normal is established in the organization. So there is a whole lot of work to be done in terms of adoption and readiness, which again, we are going to talk about ad nauseum in the next episode. Okay, so the exit criteria for each of those phases, as we said, is discovery. It's ensuring we have a fully defined solution and we have alignment around that solution. In planning, we put together the plan to deliver the program with all the pieces and parts required to build out whatever the offering is, the solution that we are building towards. But we also will have to put in the program management efforts as well, though that circle of success with all the elements in it all have to be built out as well. Ending the development phase is a fully formed offering, a fully formed solution that's been validated, that works, we know we're going to be able to push out and it'll work as soon as we launch it. And then we launch it and do the work to ensure that we move the organization from delivered launch to a new normal. So the summary is, program management is critical for translating strategic commitments into executable operational capability. It gives us a plan and a direction and a lot of specifics for delivering whatever offering or solution we're developing. The successful requirements for that are that we are strategically aligned across the organization, that we have full governance in place, we have an integrated planning and execution structure, that our stakeholder management is defined and managed, that we manage our resources effectively so that we have the right people on the program to deliver, and monitor and manage the risk with mitigations, and finally performance monitoring, both in terms of what we're delivering and how it's going to perform operationally after it's in place. In the program phases, there's 4 phases: discovery, planning, development, and launch. All are critical to ensure that we're successful at the end of those phases. If you want to know more about managing large-scale programs, read my Managing Large-Scale Programs article on my blog, and my blog can be found at www.operations-architect.com. Thank you so much and have a great rest of your day. And looking forward to seeing you again in my next episode.